Scared straight is the biggest waste of money in the justice system today. We're going to take these kids who are already breaking the law enough as to where they got caught. And if you don't know anything about crime, you get caught for less than 1% of the stuff you do. So they're breaking the law enough as to where they're getting caught. So they're breaking the law a lot. So we can take a guess that something is wrong at home. There's some kind of turmoil and dysfunction going on at home. So we're going to take them and we're going to have convicts scream at them. And that will change their path. Now, most of these kids already got convicts screaming at them at home, but for some reason, when they taken by the system and have convicts scream at them, that's gonna change it because the convicts have a message of positivity with their screaming. It's like somebody trying to put you back together again with a hammer. Like it doesn't make any sense, and it's an utter waste of money. And I have to imagine that these nonprofit organizations are just lining their pockets with the money. Um, Nonprofits are the most corrupt of all organization types. I mean, maybe I just have a bad view of these things, but I have never seen Scared Straight work on anyone. And all it teaches at its core is the exact opposite of what they claim it teaches, which is you have to be hotter than the guy screaming at you, especially by the time you're 18 when you start going to real jail. That is the only message that gets through with someone screaming at you when most of your life you've been screamed at and beaten and a lot of other dark stuff's gone on too. Like, that's just the way it is. And I understand there's a desire to like see these kids suffer or pay in some way because they're like bad kids and they're smartasses and they're pricks and they're getting away with it. So like I understand like the square urge to like see them suffer in some way. I don't know why on earth this stuff's like on television. There was a TV show called Scared Straight. I don't know what kind of fucking reptile would watch that, but apparently it did well enough to have several seasons, so these fucking vultures can feed. You know, it is what it is, I guess. But in my own experience, like, everything was so fucked up by the time I was even 12. I was drinking every single day, taking benzos as much as I could, sniffing coke, and like I was taught to commit crimes, like and literally forced to. You're doing it or else. And I never found out what or else was because I was fucking scared of people. I knew what had been done to me already, and like I think the last time someone did anything sexual to me, I was like 14 years old. Because I had already dropped out of high school by that point. And I remember the guy telling me, like, I'm not even interested in you. Like, I don't I don't even want to look at you. I just wanted to show you how much power I have over you. Uh, and a side note here, a lot of these people think it's about attraction to kids, and it's not. It's about the destruction of the kid. Like, that's what they were doing with me. It's like they were trying to damage my insides and my brain in ways that would never go away. Like, that's the turn on. And that's one of the reasons I really don't talk about that stuff, because people that are into it are going to jerk off to it. Like that's what they get off on, is the fact of like damaging someone so badly that it ruins their entire life. It's this evil shit that most people can't imagine. Like the square world just has no idea. And also they turn a blind eye to it. Like kids showing up to school every day with bruises, like that was just something that people turned a blind eye to in my day. They just pretended like they didn't see it. I wouldn't even go into bathrooms. My whole time in school, I would not go into a bathroom. That tells you something's wrong with this kid right off the cuff. But just like everyone else, like teachers, they'd have to put some skin in the game, and they go through so many kids every year. Why are they gonna stand up for you? Like, who fucking cares? This is just another kid. Fuck them. Like, I don't want to, like, they don't want to risk their career, potentially their life. They don't know what they're getting involved in. Somebody might show up to that fucking school and drill them right in their face, or worse. They're not gonna put their career or anything on the line for some fucking kid. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, like this blind eye stuff always bothered me so much that I was like, I will never turn a blind eye. And I've seen it my whole life, and I still see it go on in a lot of cases where people will just pretend like the obvious isn't happening, and I'm the jackass that has to say something about it or do something about it. And because I just can't let it go. But the kind of lives these kids lead, though, is already so horrible that, like, scared straight isn't going to do anything. That I don't understand how, like, a convict screaming at them is going to change something when, like I said, most of them have had convicts screaming them at them their whole fucking lives. It's so preposterous. I just can't believe it's an actual concept. I'd like to know where this money is going and how it's being spent and accounted for, because I am really suspicious, because this sounds like a scam to me. And, like, I don't know what kind of sick mind could be like, we're going to have convicts scream at children, and this is a program the government will give us money for and will serve the state. Like, do they get off on it? Like, at the time, like, I got sentenced to one of these things when I was real young, and I don't remember what the plea deal was, and I don't remember what crime I had committed. It was something obviously small time. I never really did big shit because I was a junkie mostly. But, like, I remember when they sentenced me, they were like, you're going to have to go to a scared straight program. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then, wouldn't you know it, the letter never showed up to my house. So I didn't know I had to go. And after that, a sheriff's deputy delivered all my summons to court after that. They remembered. They were never putting that shit in the mail again. But, you know, it does make me wonder what kind of people are in charge of these things, because the idea is just so preposterous to me that you're going to make some kind of positive change by screaming at kids that have been screamed at their whole fucking life. You know, I don't know what good can come from it. And like I said, it's like trying to put someone back together again with a fucking hammer, and they're just hitting it and hitting it, and like, it won't go back together. I don't know what good they think it can do. Like, I don't know where their mind's at. I can get the idea of, like, I want to see the kids frightened and suffering. Like, I can understand how that mindset can come about. Like, you see people being a smartass, you see them doing wrong, like, oh, I wish they'd pay and they should be afraid. And it's like, the reason they're acting like that is because they're afraid all the fucking time. But, like, that's not immediately apparent to people. And, like, you do have to set rules and stuff as well, but it's just like the lessons that it's teaching are so backwards, and the only way to change these kids' lives would be to take them out of the environments they're in. But that would actually involve someone doing something, so we don't have to worry about that one. I take it for what it's worth, I guess.